Well, good morning, church, and good Sabbath day to you. Good to be together again with you. May the Lord be with you. And this is where you say, and also with you. We'll try that again. May the Lord be with you, and also with you. Last week I began with showing you just a few of my favorite things, and this week I'll do that same thing. My new favorite things are moisturizing cream. I've washed my hands so much they are raw, and my other favorite, Gold Bond. So those are a few of my favorite things today. Now just a few words about the drop-off later today at church in the parking lot. Remember, stay in your cars, but dropping things off or picking things up between 1 and 1:30 this afternoon, between 1 and 1:30. First of all, the things that you can come by to pick up. First of all, if you're looking for your monthly devotional booklet, it's for the next quarter, April, May, and June. Have limited quantity of these, only 30, so first come, first serve. We'll also be giving out toilet paper for anybody who might need any toilet paper. The church has plenty, so swing by for a roll. And also, just in case you don't have a printer at home and you wanted to print off that absentee ballot form, I will have those available also. And then things you might want to drop off or are looking to drop off. In the week ahead, we're going to be distributing to the homeless disinfecting wipes, hand sanitizer, the small personal kind, baby wipes. As the public restrooms have closed all over the city, there's no place to go and wash up or wash our hands or try to be clean and hygienic. So we'll be collecting those things tomorrow. Also, we will collect any offerings that we might want to bring by, but it's perfectly fine just to mail them in. We are getting those each week. And then I forgot to mention yesterday in my email that if you have any Lenten snacks that you had bought for Wednesday evenings for Care House, whether those were pretzels or chips or snack bars of some sort. You pre-bought those, you have those, you can drop those off tomorrow, and we'll be getting all of that to Care House. So now for our spiritual edification this morning, I have a few things to share with you. I actually finished this book on Luther last week, and good book. And in there, I was reminded that in 1527, the bubonic plague swept through Wittenberg, where Luther was. That's about 10 years into the Reformation. And a local pastor wrote to Luther and asked him whether he should remain or flee the plague. So Luther thought about this for a while. And by the way, others were telling Luther that he too should try to flee the plague. But Luther decided to remain, and he wrote a tract explaining why. And the tract is called Whether One May Flee from a Deadly Plague. And I downloaded it and had the opportunity to read it. Whether One May Flee from a Deadly Plague. So Luther did indeed remain in harm's way in Wittenberg, and his advice to other pastors was to remain also. He said, quote, "Pastors must remain, for the people need the comfort of the gospel, and they need pastoral care." He also said, "Do your best not to put your own body at unnecessary risk, because God does indeed expect us to take care of ourselves." This reminds me that the church has been here before, and together we will survive. So let's take care of ourselves by staying home and staying safe as we continue to offer that gospel of love to others. Now, the other reflection that I have for us today is to reflect on just a part of Romans 5. Paul gives us this wonderful and dynamic and helpful progression. Paul Paul reminds us that in times of trouble, we need to remember that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. So in times of trouble, suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. I think that's a really good mantra that we might want to say over and over each day or several times a day as anxiety may start to creep in and our chest might feel a little bit tight. Remind ourselves of this wonderful, helpful progression that Paul has given us, that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. Go ahead and just say that with me. Suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us. My hope is in a loving God. My hope is in how we love and care for each other, especially the weak and the most vulnerable among us. My hope is in the compassion that we have and hold for each other. My hope is in each of you as we live out that gospel of love together. We will not flee in body or spirit. We will remain and offer the love of God to each other, to our neighbor, to the entire world. Amen. Let us now pray the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious unto you. The Lord look upon you with his favor and grant you peace. Amen. Let us now go in peace and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. We'll try that once more. Let us go in peace and serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. See you next week.